Hi guys, welcome back to Flick Finesse. Today, we're diving into a genre that almost everyone loves, mystery thrillers. Those shows that pull you in with suspense, twist your mind with shocking reveals, and keep you guessing until the very last moment. Across HBO Max, Apple TV+, and other platforms, there are some incredible series that deserve your attention. So we decided to put together the top 10 best mystery thriller series you can stream right now. So let's begin. Number 10. Bancroft. Elizabeth Bancroft isn't your standard detective. She's a storm wrapped in a uniform. On the surface, she's the sharp, commanding officer everyone respects. But beneath that polished exterior lies a history stitched together with secrets, blood, and ruthless ambition. Years of clawing her way up the ranks have hardened her into something cold, calculating, and terrifyingly efficient. She's built a flawless reputation by burying every flaw deep underground, and by making sure anyone who digs too close doesn't dig for long. But when a long-forgotten cold case crawls back into the light, Bancroft's carefully controlled world begins to crack. The young detective, bright-eyed and persistent, starts tugging at old threads tied directly to Bancroft's darkest sin. Suddenly, the past she has spent a lifetime suffocating begins gasping for air. As pressure mounts, Bancroft transforms into something even more dangerous. She manipulates, intimidates, and maneuvers with the precision of a predator cornered, protecting her empire with a quiet, icy brutality. Every move she makes throws her deeper into the shadows, blurring the line between justice and monstrosity. Bancroft is a chilling crime thriller about a woman who refuses to fall, even if staying on top means burning everything around her. It's tense, twisted, and unsettlingly intimate, exposing the rot inside a system built on power and secrets. This isn't a story about catching a criminal, it's a story about becoming one. Number 9. Wisting. William Wisting, Larvick Police's most seasoned detective, is a man carved out of silence and regret. Not messy on the outside, but inside, he's held together by discipline and fraying nerves. His life moves in the muted rhythm of Norway's cold, fog-soaked streets, until a corpse in the snow shatters that quiet. That single dead body doesn't just spark a case, it rips open a much darker truth lurking beneath this peaceful coastal town. Suddenly, Wisting is thrown into the path of a relentless serial killer investigation, the kind that scrapes old scars and drags buried failures back into the light. And just as the case tightens like a noose, his daughter Line, fiery, determined, and too curious for her own safety, stumbles straight into the heart of the danger. Her involvement becomes the one thing Wisting can't control, turning the investigation into a suffocating mix of fear, guilt, and desperation. Wisting crosses lines he once swore he never would, chasing ghosts, political shadows, and a killer who always seems one step ahead. Meanwhile, the FBI's arrival doesn't bring order. It brings pressure, suspicion, and a brutal spotlight pointed right at Wisting himself. Wisting is a cold, slow-burning crime drama about a man battling two monsters at once, the criminal hiding in the dark and the doubt festering inside him. It's tense, bleak, and painfully human, asking a quiet but deadly question. How do you protect a town or your own family when the truth is the one thing that could destroy you? Number 8. The Girl Before. Jane Cavendish is trying to rebuild herself from the wreckage of a life that collapsed too fast. Looking for a clean slate, she steps into 1 Folgate Street, a house carved out of glass, steel, and strict discipline. It's beautiful, clinical, and unnervingly perfect. The kind of place that demands obedience rather than offering comfort. But that serenity fractures the moment Jane learns the truth. Another woman lived here before her, Emma. And Emma didn't just leave, she vanished under disturbing, unspoken circumstances. As Jane digs deeper, the house's minimalist charm dissolves into something colder, more predatory. The rules are suffocating, the censors feel like eyes, and the architect who made this place, Edward Monkford, treats his designs like commandments carved in stone, controlled, unyielding, almost obsessive. Soon, Jane realizes she isn't just renting a home, she's walking the exact blueprint Emma once did. Same routines, same restrictions, and the same dangerously magnetic architect watching her every move. The Girl Before unfolds as a clean-cut psychological thriller where silence is a weapon and perfection becomes a trap. It's sleek, tense, and quietly brutal, showing how a house built to improve the people living in it can instead peel their lives open, layer by layer. In the end, the bigger threat isn't the mystery of what happened to Emma, it's what this house slowly tries to turn Jane into. Number 7. Surface. Sophia, a woman carved out of privilege and polished perfection, wakes up every day as a stranger in her own skin. After a violent plunge into the cold waters of San Francisco Bay, her memory is nothing but broken glass. Sharp, scattered, impossible to piece back together. She moves through her life like a ghost wrapped in silk. A loving husband, a glamorous home, friends who smile too softly. Everything looks right, yet feels dangerously wrong. There's a tremor beneath the surface, a quiet thrum of lies humming under every conversation, every touch. But the haze begins to crack when Sophia follows the faint trails of who she used to be. Affairs hidden in dark corners, secrets whispered behind locked doors, and the unsettling possibility that her fall wasn't an accident at all. Suddenly, she's walking through a world where every face is a mask, and every memory she recovers stabs deeper than the last. Surface is a moody, atmospheric thriller about deception wrapped in luxury, where the real danger isn't the fall into the water, it's the rise back into a life built entirely on lies. Number 6. Constellation. Jo Eriksson, a decorated astronaut for the European Space Agency, isn't the same woman who left Earth. After surviving a catastrophic incident aboard the ISS, she crash lands back into a world that looks familiar, but somehow feels wrong. Her memories flicker, her reality bends, and the people she loves seem just slightly out of place. Like someone rearranged her life while she was gone. But the real nightmare begins when Jo starts seeing versions of moments that never happened, shadows of a life she's certain she lived, and a daughter who behaves like she knows something Jo doesn't. The more she tries to snap back into normalcy, the more the cracks widen, pulling her toward the terrifying possibility that she didn't just return from space, she returned from somewhere else. Suddenly, Jo is thrust into a desperate, mind-twisting quest for truth, colliding with a secretive NASA scientist, buried Cold War experiments, and a dangerous mystery that stretches beyond time, memory, and even identity. Every answer brings her closer to a chilling question. What if the real threat didn't follow her from space, but replaced her? Constellation is a psychological sci-fi thriller soaked in paranoia and cosmic dread. It's about a woman fighting not just to uncover the truth, but to reclaim her own place in the universe. Tense, emotional, and deeply unsettling, it asks what happens when reality fractures and you're the only one who remembers the pieces. Number 5. Down Cemetery Road. Sarah Tucker is a restless suburban soul, drifting through her neat Oxford life with the kind of quiet dissatisfaction that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. Her days are an endless loop of politeness and routine. Tidy streets, calm neighbors, nothing out of place, nothing truly alive. But everything fractures in one violent heartbeat when a house on her street detonates in a flash of fire and smoke. Amid the chaos, whispers begin to spread. A missing baby, a child who may or may not have been inside, a life erased before anyone even admits it existed. That single mystery jolts Sarah awake, a shockwave that rips her out of her sleepy comfort and drags her into the dim, nerve-tangled underbelly of Oxford, where truth is twisted and people lie with the ease of breathing. Suddenly, she's chasing shadows through rain-slick alleyways, barging into locked doors and colliding with Zoe Bohm, a sharp-edged, no-nonsense private investigator who's just as emotionally bruised as the city she works in. Together they stumble into a web of old sins, buried betrayals, and quiet corruption that has been silently poisoning the town for years. Each clue pulls them deeper, each lie bruises harder, and every step forward feels like stepping onto thinner and thinner ice. Down Cemetery Road is a moody, slow-burning mystery about ordinary people walking straight into extraordinary danger. It's gritty, aching, and unsettlingly human. A story about how far someone will go for the truth, even when the truth threatens to break them apart. Number 4. The Third Day. Sam, a man hollowed out by grief, is barely holding himself together. Wandering through his days like someone permanently stuck between dream and nightmare, he's just trying to outrun the memories that won't stop clawing at him. But everything tilts violently off balance when he crosses paths with a troubled young girl on a remote country road. A chance encounter that drags him toward a place he never should have stepped foot in. That place is Osea Island, stunning from afar, but unsettling the moment you touch its soil. A tiny patch of land where the tides trap you, the air feels too still, and the locals stare like they've already judged your fate. Sam arrives as an outsider, and the island grips him like a hand around the throat. What begins as a harmless stay turns into a dizzying, surreal spiral. Strange rituals, whispering children, smiles that feel rehearsed, nights that bleed into hallucinatory visions. The island isn't just odd, it's alive, ancient, and watching him closely. Soon Sam is pulled into its secrets, its prophecies, its hunger. And the deeper he sinks, the more it becomes clear. Osea doesn't just welcome visitors, it chooses sacrifices. Later, Helen arrives, a mother with her own wounds, determined to find answers. But she too is swallowed by the island's eerie charm, forced into a quiet war against the residents who believe in destiny more than humanity. The Third Day is a haunting, fever dream mystery, thick, atmospheric, and psychologically bruising. It's not about jump scares. It's about dread slowly crawling under your skin, asking one simple question. If a place wants you to stay forever, will you even recognize you're trapped? Number 3. The Long Shadow. Detective Dennis Hoban is a man unraveling at the seams. Stalking through the bleak, rain-soaked streets of 1970s Leeds, his days revolve around endless paperwork, bitter cigarettes, and the crushing weight of a city living in terror. He's worn out, haunted, and drowning in a case that refuses to give him even a sliver of mercy. But everything shifts, violently, when another woman is found murdered. This grim discovery snaps him out of his exhausted autopilot and hurls him deeper into the murky nightmare that has swallowed the north of England. What begins as a desperate search quickly becomes a suffocating maze of dead ends, blind guesses, and a killer who's always one shadow ahead. As the investigation spirals, a new detective, George Oldfield, barges into the picture, loud, forceful, and hell-bent on cracking the case no matter the cost. His arrival doesn't bring clarity, it brings chaos. Turf wars ignite, egos clash, and the hunt becomes less about justice and more about survival. Every misstep tears the community apart. Every mistake buries hope a little deeper. The Long Shadow isn't a flashy thriller. It's a slow, bruising punch to the gut. A raw, unfiltered look at broken detectives, broken families, and a broken system stumbling through the darkest chapter of British crime. This is a series that lingers. Heavy, uncomfortable, heart-sunk. Number 2. Criminal record. Detective June Lenker is a problem the London police system never planned for. Smart, restless, and stubborn in all the inconvenient ways, she spends her days grinding through the city's cold, bureaucratic maze, trying to stay afloat in a job where truth is always buried under paperwork, politics, and the thick fog of old men protecting old secrets. But her quiet routine cracks wide open the moment a single phone call rolls in. A call that hints at a wrongful conviction buried deep in the department's past. Suddenly, her carefully balanced world lurches, forcing her straight into the shadows of London's darker corners, where justice doesn't shine, it flickers. On the other side stands DCI Daniel Hegarty, a veteran detective built from steel, secrets, and the kind of arrogance only decades of unchecked power can forge. His reputation is spotless. His methods? Not so much. And this call, this inconvenient tremor, threatens to rip the mask clean off him. June is dragged into a brutal tug-of-war between truth and reputation, between the future she wants and the damage left behind by men who carved their careers out of broken lives. Every step pulls her deeper into a world of buried files, silenced voices, and an old case that refuses to stay dead. Criminal Record is a taut, sweaty, pressure cooker crime drama. A story about two cops locked in a moral cage fight, each driven by ghosts they can't outrun. It's not just about crime. It's about the rot beneath the badge, the weight of power, and the quiet war between who you are and who the system forces you to become. Dark, personal, and unsettlingly real, this isn't a mystery you watch. It's one you feel tightening around your chest, one painful truth at a time. Number 1. Task. Tom Brandis, a decorated FBI agent, is a man drowning in the undertow of his own grief. His career is a brittle facade, barely concealing the shattered core of his soul following a devastating personal tragedy. Tasked with leading a specialized unit in the blue-collar, brick-and-mortar labyrinth of suburban Philadelphia, his days are an arid stretch of paperwork and procedure, a desperate attempt to find structure in a universe that felt suddenly chaotic. But his measured, agonizing march through life is brutally interrupted when a new wave of savage, well-organized robberies begins slicing through the city's criminal underbelly. This dark reality shoves him out of his contemplative stupor and throws him headlong into a collision course with Robbie Prendergast, a seemingly ordinary sanitation worker whose quiet life conceals a reservoir of vengeance and violence aimed squarely at the Dark Hearts motorcycle gang. Suddenly, Brandis is pulled into a relentless and personal pursuit of justice. Forced to confront the festering wounds of the community, the deep-rooted desperation born of poverty, and the volatile moral code that binds broken men. He finds himself crossing paths with a volatile counterpoint in Prendergast, a mirror reflecting the destruction that comes from trying to right a terrible wrong through equally terrible means. Task is a raw, punishingly intense crime drama about fathers and family fighting a brutal battle, not just against the crime in their town, but against the darkness inside themselves and the curse of generational cycles.